Welcome to the shooting show. This week we follow Geoff Garrod on a pigeon pest control exercise, plus we bring you all the latest news from the shooting world.
Well, what we're on today, we're on the last bit of spring drilling that I've got over here, and unfortunately we've just gone through Hurricane Kate, I think that's her name, and which has blown a lot of wet weather through. It's hampering the setting up. I've just had to wait a little bit for the rain to go through. There's a wood just over the back there, and I'm watching a flight of pigeons up the side of the hedge, just sort of going into the wood. So I'm going to set a decoy pattern on the edge of the wood to try and draw them into me, to either come into me decoys, or if they're not going to decoy into me, hopefully I can intercept them as they go over and sit in the trees. Hopefully, all in all, we'll get a good day, because the weather forecast today is all this crappy weather that we're at the moment is going to blow through, and about 1 o'clock onwards it should come out still windy, but should be a bit of sun, and definitely get rid of all this rain. So fingers crossed, we could be on for a pretty reasonable day. I've got another mate of mine, he's out over the back there because the field's all there, and young Justin is out over the back there, so hopefully we've got all bases covered and we'll just see what happens.
High winds aren't just great for kite flying, they can also make for a big day at the doos. Our anticipation mounts as Geoff sets up the hide.
We're set up on a piece of plough, which is where game cover used to be, which is going to be again this year, and the drill's about 25 metres out there. The wet side of Hurricane Kate has gone through, and hopefully, as you can see, the sun's out, and hopefully it should be dry from now on for the rest of the day.
Geoff and the other guns are in position, and the lifelike decoys are out and ready to do their job.
Right. And hopefully comes the first customer.
It doesn't take too long until we have a couple in the bag, but we have an unusual pigeon problem. There's just too many.
Start of the day, one of my little theories, whether it's right or wrong, big groups like that I don't like shooting at first, start of the day. What I think, 200 pigeons just come by, come in the decoys, you get up, you have a shot, you might get 2, might be 3 if you're lucky, but you've just educated 200 pigeons. Hopefully those pigeons will come back later on in the day and come in smaller groups. That's my theory. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know.
Settling back in the hide, we wait for a smaller group of woodies to come our way, and it's not long until they oblige. It's a good start, but apparently not good enough for Geoff. He's already out topping up the decoy pattern and making the finishing touches to the arrangement. Well, Geoff, you're the expert. Let's see if it brings in any more birds. Geoff's bringing down the birds in numbers, but he's having to call on all his shooting prowess to do so.
The bulk of them are going. There's literally, if I was 20 yards down there, they'd be straight over my head.
The pigeons keep coming into the left, just as Geoff said. This one drops behind us, and we don't delay in casting the dog off to retrieve it. After that there's a rare quiet moment, but the day is young and there's plenty more action to come. The long-serving combo of Browning Maxus and the Eley cartridges are doing the job as always. Already it's time for another box. Sometimes it seems like Geoff spends more time fixing the pattern than he does in the hide. We can't complain though, because the bag has been growing nicely. If Geoff keeps it up, this could even be a shooting show record. Back to the shooting, and the restocked pattern works wonders straight away. Geoff's into a rhythm now, and this is all the hallmarks of a century bag. This one's hit well but flies on. We make a note to pick it up on the way home. As the day wears on, the pigeons are still coming, with many taken as high-driven birds rather than decoying into the pattern. Whatever works, works. Everything is going right, and the birds keep coming. Always sticking to best practice, Geoff takes his shot well and the tally is mounting rapidly. That's the last shot of the day. Time to pick up the birds and find out where we ended up.
That's another day finished. Just had a good pick up there, 161, which really pleased with, because hasn't been an easy day. And when we looked at this morning, looked at the flight line that was coming over the wood, we got in the flight line, and I expected a few more to decoy into the pattern, but they weren't decoying. I probably only shot about 20-30 that actually decoyed in the day. The rest of them I've shot going over top of the trees. So by watching the flight line and getting into it, it worked, although there was stages today when the wind was blowing really strong that the pigeons were tending to keep to my left a bit. But you know, all in all, 161 on a day has been really good. Browning Maxus, I mean, I can't keep saying enough good things about it, but it has performed today. I really do like it in the hide. It's just one of those guns that you can throw about, and a day like today when pigeons are being all over the place, when you go up, they hit the wind and they're 20 yards gone, you know, you need a gun that you can use. And I've certainly tested the Eley Pigeon Select out today with these long burrs, high burrs coming over the trees, and they both performed well.
Geoff there, doing what he does best. And now, it's the Shooting Show News.
This is the Shooting Show News. The Olympic shooting test event is underway in Rio, and we've already had a British finalist. Ed Ling tied in 6th place after qualification in the men's trap. He then emerged on top of a nail-biting 9-man shoot-off to book his place in the final, shooting 12 straight in the sudden death knockout. But he wasn't able to go onto a medal position as Spain's Alberto Fernandez grabbed the gold. There's a big British contingent in Rio with Elena Allen, Matt French, Amber Hill, Tim Neal, Jen McIntosh, Ken Parr and Steve Scott all competing. The world of field sports came together to celebrate gamekeeping at the Basque Gamekeepers Fair at the weekend. It was the 40th anniversary of the show, and to mark the occasion, keepers from around the country assembled for a photo shoot on the steps of Catton Hall. Now all attention turns to the summer and the UK Game Fair at Stoneleigh this July. We spoke to some eager exhibitors at Catton Park about field sports' new flagship fair.
Come and see us at the UK Game Fair, the Rabbits' Rest, where myself, Simon Whitehead, Torchy, Bruce, Elaine and the rest of the gang will be showing you the magical world of rabbits, rabbiting, ferrets, dogs, lurchers and nets. See you there.
Hi from Swarovski Optic. We'll be at the UK Game Fair this July and we'll hopefully have the Z8 for you to come and have a look at.
Oh, Fortress Clothing wants to be and is going to be at the UK Game Fair. We're looking forward to it.
I'm here on behalf of Great Wall and we just want to let you know that we are going to be at the UK Game Fair this year.
Mugjack Trading for gun dog suppliers, high quality. We'll be at the Stoneleigh Game Fair.
And I hope you can get along to the UK Game Fair in July.
And we'll be at the UK Game Fair this July.
A new report written by a group of organisations, including the RSPB, has heaped praise on the conservation work connected to shooting. The report highlights the role played by the planting of woodlands and the creation of wetlands such as ponds in boosting biodiversity. Nearly 40,000 providers of shooting are involved in creating and maintaining wetlands and woodlands. Basque's Matt Ellis said the report was welcome confirmation of shooting's role as a force for good in conserving nature. Firearms legislation as it stands is not fit for purpose. That's the message from Basque, which has submitted its response to the law changes proposed in the Policing and Crime Bill. The association has welcomed most of the changes, but says it regrets the narrow drafting of the bill and has called for a number of amendments to make shooters' lives easier. These include giving shooters an automatic licence extension while police are still processing a renewal, and extending Home Office club approval to cover any Section 1 firearm. And finally, the winners in the Rural Oscars will be crowned next week. The Countryside Alliance Awards will conclude at Parliament on the 27th of this month, celebrating the best in local food, village retail, butchery, tourism and enterprise. We'll bring you the winners after they're announced. That was the Shooting Show News.
Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you're not a member of Basque, it's time to join now. Basque, looking after your sport, looking after you. This has been The Shooting Show.